we have just heard that there are many, many reasons for this implantation failures. We have heard two brilliant talks by Dr. Divyashi and Dr. Deepak Modi on implantation failures, but one of the major reasons is even poor embryo selection. One reason of failed implantation can be that we are not able to identify the embryo that has the highest implantation potential. Probably we are not able to do this very well. And as a solution to this, our inability to select the embryo, what we do is we transfer more embryos. Even today, in many, many clinics in India, transfer 2 or 3 embryos in a single cycle. And as a result, 25% of IVF pregnancies are still multiple gestations. And we all know that multiple gestations have very, very high risks for mothers as well as babies. And this is a very big current challenge for ART. So how do we avoid multiple pregnancies? Obviously, the answer is to move towards single embryo transfer. So consequently, if we want to move towards single embryo transfer, we must learn to identify the embryos with highest possible implantation potential and chances of live birth. This means that our embryo selection technique has to be very, very good. We must be very confidently, we should be able to choose the correct embryo for transfer. So how are we assessing our embryos and what should be the ideal selection method? The ideal selection procedure should be safe and non-invasive. It should be quick and it should be easy to perform in a busy laboratory. The result should be available within appropriate time frame for embryo transfer, and of course the method has to be cost effective. So currently we have mainly 2 types of assessments possible. One is subjective assessment, which is mainly morphology and detailed multi-day assessments. We are all very, very familiar with the morphological assessment. We have been doing it since last 40 years. It has not changed much at all. The way we are choosing our embryos on the basis of morphology. And then we have objective assessments, but the objective assessments are invasive, they are expensive, and they require special facilities, equipment, and expertise. However, these objective assessments have contributed enormously to our perspectives and understanding of embryo competence. And so this subjective assessment of morphology is based on, we are all very, very familiar with morphological assessment. I'm not going to go much into this, but it is mainly based on number of blastomeres, the cleavage rate, the symmetry of the blastomeres, the fragmentation, the proportion and distribution of the fragments, whether they are local, whether they are scattered, the cytoplasm, whether it is clear, it is grainy, dark. So basically, these are all aesthetic criteria. The morphological grading is based essentially on the aesthetic appearance of the embryo, and looking at all these aesthetic characteristics, we grade our embryos either A, B, C, or D, and we select the best possible, good-looking embryo for transfer. So we know on day 3 we want a graded embryo to have at least 6 to 8 beautiful blastomeres, all equal, even blastomeres, perfect symmetry, less than 20% fragmentation. This is what we are going to call a grade A embryo, and we are going to select that embryo for transfer. And when one of these criteria is not met, we are going to call that embryo grade B. And when 2 or more criteria are not met, we are going to call that embryo grade C. Then we have blastocyst grading. We do extended culture in the laboratory to allow for natural selection of embryos, and we develop them up to blastocyst. And in the blastocyst, we look for 3 things. We look for the expansion of the blastocyst, we look at the morphology of the inner cell mass, and we look at the morphology of the trophectoderm. So a good blastocyst, a grade AA blastocyst, is going to have an inner cell mass which has a lot of cells nicely compacted, and the trophectoderm plays a great role in implantation. It is going to form the placenta, so we want even the trophectoderm to be of grade A quality. So we selected a blastocyst that is expanded, a 4AA blastocyst is what we are going to select. Then there are certain additional morphological parameters that can be studied which can predict pregnancy outcome better than a single day 3 evaluation. So we can look at 16 to 18 hours pro-nuclear morphology. At 25 to 27 hours, we can look for early period status. And this kind of embryo scoring system will assess transfer of 2 or even single embryo, and it would give us a better prediction of pregnancy outcome. Early cleavage embryos are defined as those embryos that have cleaved to the 2-cell stage 25 to 27 hours post-insemination or ICSI. And studies have shown that the transfer of early cleavage embryos leads to a higher pregnancy and implantation rates compared to the transfer of non-early cleavage embryos. And I think all of us will agree, and in my experience also I've noticed over the years, that whenever you see an early cleaving embryo, it is a very, very promising parameter, and these are the patients that generally always get pregnant. So it's early cleavage is one thing that you must always look for, and if you see an early cleaving embryo, then embryo should be selected for transfer. So we learn a lot from the traditional morphological grading. However, this embryo morphology grading has a lot of limitations. The main limitation being that the correlations between gross morphology and implantation potential can be weak and inaccurate. Except when, of course, the embryos are clearly degenerating. When they are clearly degenerating, we can make out and we deselect those embryos. Another thing that we must bear in mind is that embryo morphology changes with time. It is a dynamic system. Time-lapse has shown us now that fragments can be absorbed. We also know that embryos with fragments do sometimes implant. The PGS studies have now shown us that aneuploidy can be seen in so many grade A embryos. So, bad morphology may mean that the quality of the embryo is bad, but good morphology does not always mean high developmental capacity. So what is the need of the hour? What do we have to do? I think other criteria must be considered to identify and select the embryo with highest possible implantation potential and the possibility of live birth. And this is where the objective embryo selection comes into picture. So we have time-lapse imaging, we have omics, we have pre-implantation genetic screening. Time-lapse microscopy is basically again based on morphology, but instead of one static observation, we have automated image acquisition every 5 to 20 minutes. So it is a dynamic morphokinetic assessment. It gives us a lot of information like pronuclear dynamics and morphology, duration of the first cytokinesis, reappearance of the nuclei after cleavage, duration of various cleavage stages, and more importantly, it also gives us the negative signs during development, like multinucleation, fragmentation, direct cleavage from 1 cell to 3 cell, or 2 cells to 5 cells. So these are the embryos that we are going to deselect. These are the embryos that we do not want. These are the embryos that may not be chromosomally normal. So there are many advantages of time-lapse. It does not rely on static observations. The image capture is continuous. Another important advantage is that embryo assessment occurs without removing the dishes from the incubator. So embryos are not exposed to changes in the environment. So that adds to the quality of the embryos. There is less sample handling. It reduces the risk of human error. So these are some of the great advantages of the time-lapse system, and the time-lapse teaches us a lot. We have learned a lot about embryo development, looking at all the algorithms developed from the time-lapse system. However, time-lapse also has its own limitations. There is some kind of exposure to ultraviolet radiation, of course in low doses, but that means that there is some potential for harm, and long-term follow-up is essential. Then there are conflicting results from the centers that are using time-lapse. And there is no single parameter that consistently correlates with clinical outcomes when studies are compared. And there are now these two very big studies by Yang et al. And Laura Renzi in 2015, which have clearly shown that we cannot distinguish between aneuploid and euploid embryos based on time-lapse studies. And that brings us to pre-implantation genetic screening. Now, we have just seen that the standard embryo evaluations do not reveal embryos with the wrong number of chromosomes. Chromosomal errors in human embryos are a major cause of IVF failure, miscarriage, obstetric complications, stillbirth, and it can even lead to the birth of affected children. But fortunately, accurate technology for detecting chromosomally normal euploid embryos is now available. And so ideally, one euploid embryo should be transferred after embryo biopsy and chromosome screening for aneuploidy. However, there has been a lot of controversy surrounding the use of pre-implantation genetic screening. Several randomized trials conducted almost a decade ago has suggested that PGS does not improve IVF success rates. However, we must remember that all these studies screened a very limited set of chromosomes. The method used was FISH, and now we know that the accuracy of FISH is questionable. Now we have comprehensive chromosome analysis methods which are superior to FISH. Now we biopsy our embryos at the blastocyst stage, which is superior than the cleavage stage biopsies. There is less risk of damage, there is less mosaicism. And many cases of mosaicisms are now detectable through the use of NGS. The possible biopsy stages are mainly day 3 biopsy and day trophectoderm biopsy. Can we have the videos running? So in day 3 biopsy, we take the we make a opening in the zona, and we take with the biopsy equipment, we take out one cell from the cleaving embryo, and we take out the cell and it is sent for genetic testing. And for trophectoderm biopsy, have the second video also roll, please. For the trophectoderm biopsy, about 4 to 5 cells from the trophectoderm are taken out, and they are sent for a biopsy. So let us see what are the advantages of the trophectoderm biopsy. For trophectoderm biopsy, we can take out about 4 to 5 cells from the trophectoderm, so we have more DNA material available for analysis. So there are fewer cases of no results. Then there are fewer mosaics on day 5, about 21% compared to day 3, where we have almost 33% embryos that come as mosaic embryos. There is reduced impact of the biopsy procedure on day 5. Another important thing for embryologists is that there are less embryos to process on day 5 than day 3. However, there are certain risks associated with blastocyst biopsy. Every center biopsies differently, and some variations are detrimental. It is a highly skilled process. There is a lot of chance that the manipulator or the embryologist can damage the embryo during the process, so it is a highly manipulator-dependent process. So what are the overall clinical results with PGS, or what is now known as pre-implantation genetic testing for aneuploidy? It is the version 2 of PGS. So what are the clinical results for this PGTA? So there are these 3 main key trials, and if you see the first trial by Young et al. In 2012, they transferred a single embryo, and the PGS group performed significantly better than the non-PGS group. The second study by Scott et al., they transferred 2 embryos, and again the PGS group performed significantly better than the non-PGS group. The third study had 2 variations. For the PGS group, they transferred a single embryo, whereas for the non-PGS group, 2 embryos were transferred. So the authors found that the PGS group was not inferior despite receiving a single embryo. The pregnancy rates were comparable in both groups, whereas the PGS group received just 1 embryo and the non-PGS group received 2 embryos. However, they still concluded that PGS group performed better because the ongoing multiple pregnancy rate with the PGS group was 0%, whereas with the non-PGS group they had a 53% multiple pregnancy rate. The criticism for these studies is that the numbers are really small. These are from individual centers, very small numbers. So let us look at the SART data, which is large number of cycles. So number of patient cycles examined is much, much larger. Again, there were 2 differences in the treatment, PGS versus no testing, and 30 to almost 110% more embryos were transferred for the no testing group. The benefits seen for the PGS patients were that increased live birth rate for 38 years and up, decreased abortion rate for 35 years and up, and decreased premature deliveries under 41 years. And these benefits were only realized with PGS, and it was not realized for the non-PGS group. If we look at the 5th randomized trial, the STAR study, It again compared to the SART conclusions that the benefits are seen in the group of after 35 years. The pregnancy rates are much improved in the older age group after 35 years. If you see PGS and time to pregnancy, so say you have a 40-year-old patient and you have 8 embryos, and you do 4 sequential embryo transfer for this patient, you are not doing PGS. Without PGS, you are doing 4 PGS sequential transfer, you are transferring 2 embryos at a time. First cycle, there is no pregnancy. Second cycle, again there is no pregnancy. Third cycle, there is a miscarriage. Fourth cycle, there is no pregnancy. So the patient has undergone 4 unsuccessful embryo transfers, and what have we achieved? The patient has not achieved a pregnancy, she has suffered a miscarriage and lost many months or probably years in the treatment. And these are the patients that potentially drop out from the treatment. They would either go the adoption way or they might just give up the idea of having a child. So these are the patients who drop out after so many failed cycles. Now for this same patient, if we had done PGS for these 8 embryos, we would have probably realized that all these 8 were employed, and we could have guided the patient to probably undergo one more cycle or change something in the treatment modality. So this is time to pregnancies where the PGS has a great benefit. We have limited experience with PGS, but I would just like to share maybe this one case where we have a 36-year-old PCO woman with a history of 10 previous failed IVF cycles. She came to us and she underwent a conventional IVF stimulation. We had 28 oocytes and 18 blastocysts, 18 good grade blastocysts were formed. Considering her history of 10 previous failed IVF, PGS was performed on these 18 blastocysts. From the 18 good grade blastocysts, only 4 were euploid. She underwent 2 FETs with single euploid and blastocyst. Unfortunately, both were negative. The patient was very disheartened. She had almost given up. She told us that she doesn't want to do anything remaining with the remaining 2 embryos, and she went away. She came back to us after almost 2 years. And in the 3rd attempt, she said that, we just put back both the euploid embryos. We generally never do that. We want to give each embryo a chance. But she insisted, she said, this is my last attempt, I'm just not going to do anything further. And we put back the 2 embryos, 2 remaining euploid embryos. She turned positive and she has a twin intrauterine pregnancy. So now imagine this patient, if we had not performed PGS, she had 18 blastocysts. So what are the chances that in which transfer we would have got the pregnancy with the euploid embryo? And she would have probably just lost all hope, and she would have given up the hope of ever becoming a mother of her own genetic child. So this is a classic case where PGS really helped the patient. So what are the advantages? What can PGS potentially offer? It avoids multiple pregnancy. You can confidently transfer just one euploid embryo. It prevents pregnancies affected by Down syndrome. It reduces the risk of miscarriage. It avoids subjecting patients to multiple unsuccessful embryo transfers. It's a big emotional trauma to keep undergoing failed embryo transfers. It reduces the time it takes for a patient to achieve a pregnancy. And it avoids cryopreservation of non-viable embryos. You just cryopreserve the euploid embryos. So, conclusions. We have to acknowledge that our embryo selection methods, including pre-implantation genetic screening, are yet not perfect. However, we should discuss the PGS technology with all our patients. Today in 2018, we just cannot rely on a subjective assessment, subjective morphological assessment. We have to decide which approach best fits the patient's individual specific needs. We have to consider certain points for each patient. Can they tolerate more failed attempts? Can they tolerate a pregnancy loss? Can they tolerate this higher risk of premature delivery or a twin pregnancy? Would they prefer a live birth sooner rather than later? Would they prefer to undergo fewer procedures? So I feel that our patients deserve a much more thoughtful approach. We are no one to decide for the patients that, let us not offer PGS and let us just do the morphological grading and do this. Agreed, PGS is still evolving, but yet it is, if we do not adapt to the newer technology, we are not going to reach the aim that we have of single embryo transfers. So we must acknowledge that we have to do this for our patients. Thank you for your patience.